All right, testing, testing. All right, we're going to get started. Thank you so much to all the press and media in attendance. Thank you to Crypto.com Arena for hosting today's event, and thank you to all the media on Zoom as well, joining all over the country and internationally. So we're extremely excited as an organization to make a big introduction today, and this is a special day in Sparks history. So I'm going to get right into it and turn it over to our general manager and head coach, Derek Fisher.
Thanks, Eli. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I know it's a little chilly out here, so we'll make it quick, and I'll keep my words really tight and quick here. We are all here for one reason, and we're excited for this opportunity today. This is a great day for our organization. We feel like this is a great day for the city of LA. We all recognize the city as title town. All the other sports teams are winning championships and racking up championships. It's been 6 years since the Sparks have touched the trophy, and through a lot of conversations, discussions as a team internally, ownership, management, staff, we made a decision that if an opportunity presented itself to bring in a player and a personality that could change the timing of us having a chance to access that trophy again, we would do it. And when the conversations and the opportunity presented themselves, to be able to be sitting here today, it's a great sense of pride and joy for our team, our organization. Liz is as accomplished as any basketball player, forget gender, basketball player in the world. Four-time All-Star, has been a scoring champion in this league. And the only thing that she wants to do in every conversation we ever had about coming to LA is putting banners up in this building right here behind us. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Elizabeth Cambage, the newest member of the Los Angeles Sparks.
Hey everyone, thank you all so much for coming out today. First and foremost, I would like to thank Las Vegas Aces for the past 3 seasons. Vegas was never on my dream list, on my pin board of places I wanna play. But I truly think it was God's plan for me to end up in Vegas before I got here in LA. That organization and that city helped me grow even more, mature, and fall in love with the game even more. I had never been a part of an organization or a team here in the WNBA where I was truly excited and motivated and all in to come to practice, to come to training, to tune in and watch games. And when I was sick, or the season I opted out of the WNBA in the bubble, no organization has ever been so caring as me, as a human and an athlete on and off the court. So I'm forever grateful for Bill and Dan and my teammates and all the staff and all the fans in Vegas. I love you all so much, and it's gonna be on when I come back to the house, but it's gonna be full of love as well. So I can't wait to see you all when I'm back in Vegas. But with that done, thank you to my teammates, my new coach, my new staff here at Crypto, and thank you to the fans and the media for coming out today. It's been a dream of mine to live in LA, to play in LA and wear the purple and the yellow, or the purple and the gold. Sorry, I'm emotional. I got drafted to the WNBA when I was 19. Please don't do that maths. It was a couple of years ago. I had no media training, still don't. If you haven't realized, still saying whatever I want. But I was heading into the draft, and in an interview I said I didn't want the team that was wanting to draft me because I wanted to come to LA. And I didn't understand. I got a lot of backlash at the time. I never understood why athletes, especially here in America, I didn't grow up in this American sporting system, but I've learned to love it and appreciate it and respect it a lot more than I did when I was 19. But I never understood why a player couldn't say where they wanted to be, And I said I wanted to be in LA, and I know it's taken 11 years, and I'm finally here, and I'm so grateful. But it's been a journey, and I'm so excited that I'm finally here with so much talent. You know, Coach Fish, he really put in the work on getting me here this season and bringing in more talent as well. I think this is going to be a super exciting season. The energy here in LA at the moment, you know, sport is up here, and it's an honor that I get to be a part of it now as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek and Liz. We're going to move into in-person questions. I know we have people on the Zoom, so if you are on the Zoom, you can get in the queue with the raised hand button. For those in person, make eye contact, and we'll start a queue for in-person. We'll start with Jim Hill.
Liz, first of all, Jim Hill, CBS2 and KKL9, and Derek, congratulations and welcome. What was it about Derek that convinced you to come and to join this team, and how do you feel when people call you a transformational player that can take a good team to the next level and even beyond?
Yeah, that's not bad to hear those descriptive words next to your name. You know, I just go out and play. I focus on what I can do and what I can bring, which is a big target, rebounds and points. But it also means a lot to be working with a coach that knows how great I can be and is going to allow me to be the player I am, 100%. But I think apart from, you know, Coach's achievements as a player himself, I'm very close with Amanda, and she would always tell me about how much Coach really cares about a player's well-being. Every day it's how are you, but it's not how are you, it's how are you really. And I respect that a lot. That's something I really need is, you know, a coach is going to work with me and understand me. So yeah, just he knows the game. He's been a part of it. He's been played with the greats. He's won in this building, you know. And it's such an honor to not only be coached by Coach, but also learn a lot and just be in the presence of greatness every day here at Great Crypto Arena.
Nick Hamilton.
Hey, Liz. Nick Hamilton, ICAST Media. Welcome to LA. First and foremost, just where did you see yourself fitting in with this organization, with this team? And then did you also look at any other opportunities by being in LA aside from basketball?
I did not. It was really LA or out for me. There's nowhere else I wanted to be. This city's now home. It's been home for a couple of years now. So the opportunity to play here and work here and be a part of such a prestigious organization, it was a no-brainer. There's nowhere else I want to be in the WNBA. There's truly nowhere else I have wanted to be in the WNBA, and I'm just happy that I'm finally here after so many years. I've also forgotten the first half of the question. I'm sorry.
What was when you were looking at this team? Where did you feel like you would fit in this team?
Right in the middle, baby. Right in the middle. There's so much talent here already. You know, Nneka, I'm so excited to play with Nneka. Her leadership, her drive, her hard work. I'm super excited to be with her sister, you know, Christy Tolliver, a vet of the game. You know, I might have the vet age, but I don't have the vet brain. And I'm very self-aware about that. It's something I struggled with in Vegas, is that I feel like we were missing a true vet in that team last year when Angel went down. And I didn't feel like I was ready to step into that role at all, but I'm ready to learn here from Christy, from Nneka, and just take in all this talent that's surrounding me every day.
Miriam.
Hey, Fish, and welcome, Liz. Derek, I want to ask you about this offseason and sort of like the culmination of moves that you made that led to Liz, and also how she may have worked with you guys to kind of make it possible that it all fit together, salary-wise and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have the time to really get into how this all came together. I think the most important thing is this is how it comes together. Like when you have an opportunity to add this type of talent that can change the timeline of what sports organizations are about. We obviously want to win championships. We want to be successful on the court, and we want our fans, our players, our staff to experience that. So it really started with, have a very short list of players that if we could have access to those players, we'd be willing to make some moves and make some changes. Those decisions were not easy to make trades or in free agency to allow players to move on in order to make sure that we could have access to Liz. So the priority for us, honestly, we've been great defensively the past few seasons. We've dominated on that end, but we haven't finished enough possessions with rebounds. We haven't had the presence in the middle that makes people think twice about coming to the basket in the first place. Liz changes that instantly. So, we wanted to get some additional support in the middle in terms of rebound and shot block and rim protection. And then offensively, we just haven't been an efficient team offensively. And Liz changes that for us instantly. She's as efficient of a player as there is in the league, but also comfortable playing anywhere on the floor, whether it's behind the three-point line, in the post, from the elbows. So we're looking forward to offensively being able to take advantage of her ability there. And I think her sacrifice financially, again, in the conversations that we had, she wasn't interested in being the only person that could help the team, right? Seeing the resources that we had already, the talent that she's spoken to, she wanted to make sure we had the opportunity to continue to get better. And that was an important part of the conversations we had. That's what then allowed us to make the trade to Atlanta, adding a player like Kennedy Carter, being able to sign Jordan Canada in free agency, and then having the opportunity to carry 12 players this season, which is going to be a challenge for most teams in this league. The season is condensed with the World Cup at the end of September, and so we feel like having 12 players from top to bottom that can match up with any team in the league on any night is going to be an advantage for us this year. And so it starts in the middle, but the versatility and the depth that we're going to have around what Liz is capable of doing, that's why we put it all together. And so now we just have to go and do the work. But we're excited about the challenge.
Hey, what's going on, Liz? This is Kahari Jones with the LA Sentinel. Yeah, the Sparks are highly involved in the community. What part of that allowed you to make a decision in coming here to the Sparks?
I think that's something I've been missing the past couple of years with COVID, is really giving back and connecting with the youth. Growing up, I never really saw anyone that looked like me playing sport, period, except for Serena Williams. The WNBA back home was on, early in the morning in Australia, if there was any games. In back home in Australia, there isn't too many women of color playing in the league. I think it's just me and Ezzy now, but if you can't see it, you can't be it. So connecting with the youth and giving back to the youth, getting on court with the future of the game, that's what I love and I live for, and I'm very excited to be a part of that here in LA this season.
We'll work through this row and then to the back. Go ahead, Brady.
Hey Liz, Brady Kopp for SB Nation. You talked a lot about finally getting to be in LA where you've wanted to be, but what's it feel like kind of from a freedom standpoint to go through this long in the league not having the autonomy to make the choices of where you want to play and not choose where you're drafted, not choose where you're traded to, and now you get to not just be where you want to be, but you got to actively make that decision. What's that like, and do you feel like you're going to feel maybe more free on the court as a result?
It is interesting. I haven't had the easiest journey getting here. I started off in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where I got drafted, and those days weren't easy. I cried every day. I think I got a record of most losses in a professional league. That season we won 3 games, and that was my rookie season. So it's been a journey to get here from Tulsa to Dallas to Vegas to finally here in LA. I wouldn't change it for anything. My time with every team made me stronger. I learned, I grew, I cried, I made bonds, that are forever. So I'm very grateful for my journey to get here, but it is it's a taste of I wouldn't say happiness. I'm not sure what the feeling is because I'm here, but the job isn't done. It's like I'm here and now it's time to get to work and really chase what I've always wanted. But it is amazing to look back on God's plan and be like, my dream finally did come true, but it's always a journey to get there.
Go to Rashawn Haylock in the back.
Hey, Liz. Rashawn Haylock, Spectrum Sportsnet. What excites you the most about being able to play with NECA and Shanae? Was this something that you all have talked about previously? And then for Coach Fisher, what did you learn last offseason that allowed you to sort of have the success you've been able to have this offseason?
I'm just excited to play with some really close friends in the league. I've been close with Shanae for a few years now. We connected at it was some All-Star, and we just connected dancing on the court. There was a little bit of like Afro beats playing, and I'm so excited for Shanae and NECA to show me that side of myself as well off the court. They're my Nigerian sisters, and that's half of me. So NECA and I have actually been planning, Shanae and I have been planning a trip for a couple of years. I've been saying the girls need to take me and show me because I've actually never seen Nigeria. So I'm excited, you know, I get to learn a lot on and off the court with those girls this year. Yeah.
Hey, Liz, Eric Lampkins II, Culver City Observer. There are some of the names like Lisa Leslie, Tina Thompson, Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, and now Liz Cambage. How will you submit yourself in the legacy, the rich legacy of the pantheon of Sparks greats?
We got to get the job done. For my name to even be, you know, in the mix with those women, you know, those pioneers of the sport, I need to get the job done and I need to bring a ring to LA, and that's my biggest dream as well. So if we get it done, everyone wins, hey?
Hey, what's up, Liz? Welcome to LA. Michael Matthew here, TGN Sports. My question for you is, how do you think the impact of you being here with the Sparks and in LA is going to help you with your brand on the court and off the court as well?
I think I'm in the right city if you're looking to grow your brand. You know, there's a lot of elements to who I am. I'm not just an athlete. I'm not just a basketballer. I do a lot off the court. And it isn't just for fun, you know. Half the time, that's my second job, my third job, my fourth job away from what I do here in the WNBA. So there's a lot more opportunity for work and for growth here in this city. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see where this year takes me.
Hi there, Liz. Alex Himes from the Good News Radio. Welcome to LA. Just wanted to ask if there's anything in particular, because you had touched on you had fallen in love with the city over the last couple of years and wanted to be here. What specifically drew you to LA and finally guided you here?
Growing up, everyone told me to watch Shaq play. I was too busy watching Kobe. I should have been studying Shaq's game. I was trying to study Kobe's. Now I'm studying Shaq's game and still trying to be Kobe. But, you know, growing up, they were the two most players that I got to see the most of back in Australia. If it wasn't their game, it was ads on TV, it was interviews, it was, you know, their looks in magazines. So, you know, growing up, I wanted to play at Staples, which is now, you know, Crypto Arena, but I wanted to play here. I wanted to be a star growing up. I wanted the Hollywood and the lights, and you know, now I'm here. It's not all like it's painted in the movies, but I want to be here and I want to work hard and I want to grow, and there's a lot to me that beyond basketball, and I'm very excited to be here and get to live that LA dream.
Hey Liz, Sabrina Merchant, SB Nation. Congrats on finally making it to LA. Earlier this offseason, you had expressed some frustration with the WNBA travel. I'm curious if that ever led you to a point where you considered not coming back to the league, and if so, how you made the decision to join the Sparks this year.
I've sat out of the league 5 years before. It's frustrating because I played overseas and I know the treatment and the standard of how, you know, athletes, period, should be treated. So it's hard to come here and fly economy, fly exit rows. I'm 6'8", borderline 6'9", depending on the shoes. So So it is tough. It's tough, especially when this league is full of owners and GMs that want to do more. But at the end of the day, I love to hoop, I love to ball, and I love to have a good time. And, you know, it ain't so bad having to upgrade my ticket, especially when I make a lot of money off the floor as well. So I'm very lucky. But if I wasn't working so hard off the court, that's coming out of my paycheck every road trip, an upgrade, when it should just be the standard. You know, we're not asking for private jets, even though our owners have been told no. Last year in the playoffs, we were told no. So we're on a 5:30 bus to the airport to get back to Vegas for Game 5 of playoffs. You're not going to get the best out of athletes if they're treated like that. So everything I'm saying, I'm not just sitting around bitching just because I have a view. I want the best for women, period. I don't care if you're in the WNBA. I don't care if you're in college. I don't care if you're in high school. I want the best for you, and that's why I use my voice. And change will happen. They'll probably have private jets, and I'll be retired and bitter. I won't be bitter. I'll be so happy because that's the standard it should be. But at the end of the day, I just want to see women get what they deserve and be able to get to their work comfortably.
Hi, Liz. Cindy with New Stitch Media. A little bit of a difficult question, but would love your opinion on it. How do you feel about men who identify as women in the WNBA?
For me, it's a tough situation just because growing up, you know, we have different hormones growing up, different bodies, different builds. So it's tough. You know, I've seen this come up in MMA recently. It's a really hard question. You know, I have friends that are transitioning. It's not an easy situation. You know, I think it's one of the hardest things is to completely alter your genes from a female to a male or a male to a female. It's one of the toughest situations ever, and I'm so respectful of it. But when it comes to sport, I honestly feel like I don't have a say or I can't have a say being, you know, big old 240 out on the court. It's such a hard conversation to have at the moment. But at the end of the day, I just hope there's a way that everyone gets to play the sport that they want to play. But for me to speak on this subject, I really feel like I can't. I'm not in that position. I'm not making the rules. I'm not going through it. But I just hope at the end of the day, everyone gets to do what they love and play the sport they love and be who they are comfortably.
Thanks. We're going to go over to some of the Zoom questions now. We're going to go to Michelle Vopa with ESPN.
Yeah, thank you. First off, Liz, that was actually a really good answer to a really tough question, and I respect what you said a lot about that. I wanted to direct this both to you, Liz, and to Derek. Liz, you've always spoken your mind about things and sometimes taken heat for that, but it's what you believe is best, like you said, not just for yourself, but for women in sports. I wonder if you could talk about that, the fact that you've always been willing to do that, even as a very young person. And Derek, if you could talk about that, because as a player, you had to do that yourself for many years, and just how you can maybe, you know, relate to what Liz, you know, does, and the fact that she is willing to speak her mind.
You want me to go first so you can take a break? Yeah. No, thank you for the question, Michelle. I think where appropriate, I do, you know, I try and use my former player experience to connect and relate to what our players are going through. Although I played a different game in terms of gender, a lot of the experiences are similar, and I think it's important to, you know, to serve the needs of others. Like this, being in pro sports is not just about you. So many that came before you are why you're here today, and so many young girls that are going to come after Liz are looking at her and listening to her words, and that's the way I felt about the responsibility that I had when I played. And as a coach and a GM, and this starts from ownership down for us. We value and respect our players holistically. It's not just about what they can do out on the court. And so we try and work with them. We value the fact that they do have 2 or 3 jobs in order to provide for their families in ways that when I played in the NBA, I only had to have 1 job in order to do that. It's not possible for these players right now, but it is growing. And so, I just try and lean on that when I can, when we have meetings and conversations, and make sure that I'm listening. And I think it allows me to listen better because I've had some of the same experiences.
I find myself saying, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? A lot to people when they ask me this question. I don't know if it was the fire my mother raised me with inside me to never back down or be put in a corner and just say your truth. And I'm always been the person to sit in a room, and if something's not right, I'm going to question it. And I'm also the type of person, I never want to take away from what someone else has. I want to work out how we can get more. And I hate to see things that I've said be portrayed that I'm trying to take away from someone else. I've never been that person. I've never been a jealous person. I live a very blessed life. Praise God. I'm very grateful for you every day. But I'm the type of person, I'm going to say something. If we need more, we need change. And I've been that way since I was a teenager. Always standing up for what's wrong in school, who's getting picked on, who's getting bullied. And I think that's because a lot of my life I was picked on and bullied and put in a corner. So I've always been able to say something and speak out to be like, this isn't right. So I don't know where the strength came from. I don't know. The single mother raised me. Two women being raised by my mother and my grandmother put a different type of fire within me to just stand up for myself and say what I think needs to be said. But I don't know where it comes from, but it's just something inside of me that it's hard for me not to say something if I need to say it. Yeah, I'm different, I guess. Just different.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. We'll go to Howard Megdal with Next Hoops.
Thanks very much. Liz, congratulations, and Derek, good to chat with you as well. I got one for each of you if I could. Liz, there's obviously a lot of conversation about the work you do on the offensive end, but joining a group that's been top 3, top 4 defensively every year, I'm just wondering if you could talk to me about the ways in which you think you can take this defense to another level.
Big blocker in the paint, I'm just there to rebound, to block shots, and seeing 6'10" in these Adidas shoes some days. They're thick. I'm telling you guys, you trying to get some inches on the court, get you some dames. But it's different. It's different when you drive into the key and I got my hands up underneath the ring. Like, Howard, what would you do?
I don't think I'd take it any differently than you did. I noticed you keep growing though. That's congratulations. And Derek, for you, a question. This is obviously a good problem to have, but you have many players at the 4 and the 5 who are skilled, who are used to playing significant amount of time. Just if you could take me through how you're going to go about deciding who plays where and when, and how you navigate that territory.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. We'd rather have those problems than the other way around. Mm-hmm. I think the one thing we're going to try to really, commit to right away this year is that us being here together is only for one reason, and that is to win at the highest level. Many of our players have they've had national team experience, or they've played on teams where they've had to make that choice to win at the highest level. There are things that you have to give up and sacrifice. And many of our players are already wired that way. So it won't be easy. There'll be some nights and some days that Liz is unhappy, or Nneka's unhappy, or Shanae's unhappy. Somebody's always going to be unhappy, but that's what growth is. It's uncomfortable. And that's the only way that you achieve at the highest level is to push through that discomfort. And so we'll have some of those nights. We'll have some difficult conversations about where the minutes and the responsibility will go. But as I said earlier, Liz has been very clear about what she wants, and that's to win. Jasmine Walker's here today. She's been very clear about who she is and what she wants to accomplish. And many of our players, they just want to win. And they're tired of all the guys in the city getting a chance to celebrate and win championships, and they want one too. So whatever it takes to get there, that's what we're going to make happen.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Howard. We're going to go to Jackie Powell with Bleacher Report.
Huge. Hi, Derek and Liz. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations to you both. I want to start with Derek, and then we'll get to Liz. So, Derek, Liz said something really interesting. She said that she doesn't have the vet brain, and that she's aware of that. So, what I wanted to know is sort of, what do you have in place here that maybe will help her grow as a player and a person who, as of right now, she believes she doesn't have the vet brain?
That was her form of modesty, Jackie, to be honest. No, she's a very smart player. I think it's just her acknowledging that she is willing to grow and allow for positive impact from other players and other teams, and respecting the fact that NECA is very smart and accomplished and talented, and Christy Tolliver is a two-time champion and understands a lot about this game. And from what I remember, championship teams are better off when you have those kind of players. So I think it's, and Liz obviously can speak for herself, just acknowledging the reality that it's going to be good to be surrounded by other players that are smart and accomplished and have a level of basketball experience and knowledge that she can learn from. In addition to that, our coaching staff, represents a collection of experience that we feel like gives us a great chance to connect with our players and help to get the best out of them. Coach Fred Williams, who Liz played for in Dallas, who's done as much for women's basketball as, any coach we can think of. Coach Latricia Trammell. Last year we had Simone Augustus on our staff, who was a champion and been a winner. And so, we feel that over time, the collection of our staff, the folks that we have working with our group, the way we value our players in terms of mental health and mental performance, we think that all those things are going to be positive. But, Liz is very capable herself. We don't have to try and make her something that she isn't already. We're part of an entire support system, and we're excited to bring it together. So again, I don't think we have any magic formulas here, Jackie. To be honest, we just try to serve our players and do the best we can for them every day.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that answer. I do. And for Liz, I've got a couple for you, if that's okay. So I wanted to build off of Sabrina's question. When we spoke about Mark Davis and this idea of, player pay versus pay for the coaches. But what I wanted to know from you is, how do you think the W needs to respond to sort of rectify that issue where you've got a ton of owners or governors that are investing and that are pushing for things in the right direction, but at the same time, maybe there aren't some that are, I guess, on that same level of thought, if that makes sense.
I'm not sure what they can do. I'm not in the office at the WNBA. I'd love to be. I'm sure they'll never let me in there. But if you want to bring me in for, a little marketing, let me see the numbers, I'd love to do that. I don't think the true numbers of what's actually going on the business side of the WNBA is actually out there, so I'd love to have a look at that. I think a lot of people forget I actually own a business back home in Australia. I have have a wonderful vitamin company called VitaDrop if you guys are looking for some, daily vitamins and electrolytes. But I love business. I love marketing. I'm not from America, but I have one of the biggest followings in the WNBA. Take that as you may, but as a female athlete to have one of the biggest followings, period, in this league is something I wear with pride. Knowing that knowing that I've drawn a lot of people to games courtside, tuning in. It's something I wear with pride, is that I've made people interested in this league, and I feel like I can do it as a whole. I'd love WNBA, bring me on as the marketing manager. I would love that. But I just think there's so many great stories to be told in this league, and we're not connecting in the right ways. I don't think we have. We can connect so much more with the youth. Start at the grassroots, work your way up. There's so much opportunity on off the floor with this league, and we have so many owners that want to put more and more and more in. Mark Davis is the man. Still texting him, still checking in, still talking. I've never worked with an owner that wants to put so much into this league and has been told no. And I see it and I hear it and I've been shown it. I don't just say these things because I'm saying things. I've known about Becky's contract since it happened last year, since Bill's retirement got ruined. I've known since that. I've known. So I love that. I love it for Becky. I love it for all women. I hope everyone makes $1 million a year one day. But until then, we got to work out better ways to give us more, to give us, the players, more.
We'll go to Chris Camella with Nightcast Media.
Hello, Derek. Hello, Liz. Liz, welcome to LA.
Can you speak
Derek,
up a little bit, Chris?
Oh, sorry about that. Hello, Liz. Welcome to LA. And Derek, always a pleasure to talk it up with you. Liz, how much did playing with a talent like Asia Wilson, how do you see that experience transitioning to playing with somebody like Neko Ogwumike and forming another dynamic front court? Obviously, they're not the same player, but still a star-studded player and somebody like yourself. How do you see that working out? And what other intangibles do you think you could bring to the team as well as the locker room?
Sorry, what was the last part?
Oh, what other intangibles do you think you could bring to the team? Like from afar, just looking at the squad saying, I could bring this to this team.
Well, right now I'm just focusing on bringing what I do every day, which is be big. On the court, off the court, that's what I do. I'm not trying to do more than what needs to be done, because right now they just need me under the ring. I think that's all that's really missing, is that big presence inside. And maybe on an energy off the floor. But yeah, I've also forgotten the first half of that question. It's been a minute since I've done media, by the way, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you. This is my first media for the year.
We're going to go back to a couple in person. One over here.
Gary George, Inland Valley News. Liz, talk about as far as the timing and Coach Fish as well. How long do you see it transitioning to being very competitive and being a leader in the WNBA?
You mean me personally or the team?
Well, the team, of course, collectively. How do you see it coming together, and how quickly do you see it coming together?
I think all good things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. But as soon as we get to camp, start of April, it's gonna come together quickly. I feel like it's just ready for me to step right in and get to it. The girls just missed out on the playoffs last year. There's a hunger there. I think from all of us, I'm still hurting from the way we went out last year in Vegas. And I want to take that now and put it on the court as soon as I can. So I think as soon as we get together and get it rolling, I think good things will happen quickly.
Agreed. We're just ready to get to work. There's only so much that we can say. We want to get to the basketball part as soon as possible, and we have a number of players that, like Liz just said, we missed the playoffs by one possession last year, even though we were decimated by injuries and a lot of things just didn't go our way. So we're just excited to get back to it and give ourselves an opportunity to reach our fullest potential. And we think that'll be pretty high. And we're not going to waste time, though. We're going to get to it right from day one.
Hey guys, Fredo Cervantes here from Infinity TV, right here, right down below. Hey guys, so welcome to Los Angeles, Miss Cambage here. So just want to let you know, now that you're here in LA, Derek Fisher's used to putting up banners here in Los Angeles, as he did help to put up 5. What do you think it's going to take for the LA Sparks this year to put up one as well?
Hard work, chemistry, and everyone, buying in, being on the same page. And I think we're already there. It's just getting on court. I know it's time. I'm so excited to be here and get to work. I wish it could be April right now and just start training camp and get this season going, because I truly think it's going to be special this year. But it's just baby steps, First you got to get it together, start training, get the chemistry, and then it's bringing it on the court. And I can't wait for opening night here. It's going to be the start of something big.
On your right over here.
Yeah, how you doing, Coach and Liz? Steve Finley from the Culver City News. Coach, you have played with some of the greatest Lakers. Some of the greatest Lakers are still here. Do you ever want to bring some of the players in and kind of work with the team a little bit?
It's been a bit of a challenge with the pandemic, to be honest. There are a lot of limitations to being able to have additional, whether it's staff, coaches, visitors from other teams, et cetera. We've done some things virtually in terms of former players and former greats speaking to our team, connecting with our team. But to answer the question, yes, relying on our resources, our relationships. We love to do it. We plan to get back started with it again. Who that is, some of those may be known publicly, some won't be. But we're definitely not bashful about taking advantage of the fact that we can access certain people, players, personalities that other teams can't. And we like to use that to our advantage, and we'll be doing that a lot this year.
Thanks, Steve. We have time for a couple more. Going back to the Zoom here, Joe Reedy with the Associated Press. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that. 2 questions, one for Derek and one for Liz. Derek, you've been part of roster overhauls in the past. Just how long do you think, with training camp and everything, is it going to be learning the players and getting everybody on the same page? And then, Liz, I know you addressed it earlier. You've had talks with Mark Davis, since Becky's contract and everything. Just wondering if you've had talks with other players and what the reception's been like.
To the first question, yeah, I think for us, the overhaul started last season. We had several players in free agency last year. Candace went to Chicago and had a great year, and I don't know if you could have written the story any better. I don't know who the writers are here, but you can't write it any better than what happened for Candace and in Chicago. Chelsea went to Vegas. Raquana went to Vegas. So we started turning the page last year immediately with how we wanted our roster to be constructed, our style of play. We drafted Jasmine Walker with the 7th pick in the draft last year. And we had big plans. And we got wiped out with injuries. Jasmine herself went out 2 games into the season. Nneka got injured early in the season, Shanae as well. So we didn't really get a chance to see the fruits of our labor in terms of turning over our roster a year ago. We feel like this year, with the core group of players that were with us last season, Brittany Sykes, Nneka, Jasmine, Shanae, Amanda Zawi-B, Taya Cooper, Lauren Cox will be coming to camp. Arella Garantis. We have a number of players that already have corporate knowledge, that know what we like to do, that understand our terminology, what I expect from our team every day. And so to add the players we added this year, and Katie Lou, Kennedy, Liz, and Jordan, we don't necessarily feel like it's going to happen overnight. Greatness does take time, but we do feel like we're farther ahead than where we were last year when we started, overhauling our team. And we're fortunate to have, I think, a combination of players and personalities that they've all accomplished a ton of things individually. And they've won some championships, but it's just very clear through all the conversations that we've had that winning is the number one priority. And when you have a common goal and a shared vision, that helps to shorten how long it takes, to get to where you want to go, because everybody's clear about what the mission is.
Everyone's reactions. Everyone was excited about it. It's amazing to see, but it's confusing to see, a coach be paid $1 million a year when the salary cap is rounded up to 1.4 mil. Like, we love to see it, but it hurts to know that that your coach is pretty much being paid like your whole salary cap. We love to see it, but we also want to understand how it can happen. Mark made a statement. What he did, he made a statement. And we love to see it. It's amazing that an owner would put that much money up for a coach, but when that equals, close to 80% of the salary cap, it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Go to Rico Cabrera with East LA Sports.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Just speak up a little bit.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, we're good. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Eli. And buenos dias to Liz, buenos dias, Coach. Welcome to Los Angeles. Bienvenidos, Liz. But basically, a quick question, Coach. The season's about to ramp up, but one thing that's changed prior to during the break here, the playoff format. Can we get Liz's perspective from a player, knowing that it's changed for fan perspectives, for team perspectives, owners, etc. But also for you, Coach, you're going to be more involved in that day-to-day and season type of intricacy of player personnel, etc. But can you both share that? I know we don't have much time, but just to give both of you perspectives as we launch the new season.
Yeah, no, we're excited about the new playoff format, to have the opportunity as a team to get right into series competition.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
That's why I jumped in there real quick. I'm gonna throw a lob for you, and then you can finish it. No, we're excited about the new playoff format. There have been a number of teams that have wanted to try and make this change in the format. We just felt like there's so many great stories to tell about our players in this league that our fans just should not be robbed of the opportunity to see these players compete, more than just in that single elimination game. You've had some teams that have had great seasons and then just come up short in that one game and the season's over. So it kind of devalues sometimes that consistency that team has shown in the regular season. So we're excited about it. I think our fans here in LA deserve the ability to come out and see our team multiple nights throughout the course of the playoffs. So we're going to plan our season accordingly, and we're going to expect to be in a lot of those series. But I think it's going to be exciting for our fans, knowing that they're going to have an opportunity to see us in those series, the rivalries, and the matchups that you can build and the stories you can tell. I think it's going to be good for the game. So Liz agrees as well.
Time for just one or two more. We'll go to Pete Terrell with Made for the W.
Hey, Liz, congratulations. And this is Beats Terrell with Made for the W. I think everyone loves the name and the sound of Los Angeles. So with that being said, you're known as being a fearless trendsetter. What's next for the Elizabeth Cambage brand, and what does that look like with any partnerships, whether it be on or off the court? And the second question is, what's the difference we're going to see in the fashions between Liz Vegas and Liz Angeles?
Personally, I don't think my fashion's gonna change that much. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. I'm driving in the crypto arena. I might be a little bit different this year, but no. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'll just be wearing the same thing, just mixing it up here and there. I'm still just Liz and all black, a little bit of gold, zooming on my tooth if you may. I got a little LA tooth gem done by Hood Gems. Thank you, honey, for the late night bling up. But no, I'm just gonna keep it me. I actually filmed one of my biggest fashion campaigns last week, so I guess that's coming. One of my biggest dreams. It was the same week that we signed the contract. One of my biggest fashion dreams came true, and one of my biggest sporting dreams came true, all in the same city. So I think me just being here and all the opportunity of being in this city, there's going to be big things coming. I can't speak on anything coming, but you're just going to have to follow me on Instagram, follow the Sparks, to find out.
Thank you so much. That's a great note to end on. We do have one last special, exciting photo. I'm going to call up one of our owners, CEO and managing partner, Eric Holloman. I'm going to ask you guys to stay on stage real quick as they move a few things here. Turn it. All right, thank you so much for coming, everybody. We really appreciate it. I'm going to have Liz and Derek stay on stage for a couple one-on-one interviews. Thanks so much.